Hello guys, as you probably know, I am in Najdorf Memorial Tournament. You probably know Miguel Najdorf, Najdorf variation in the Sicilian. And yes, it was my second round. First round, you have the link at the top here in the corner. It didn't go that well, but second round, you know what? I think it might be my best game this year, for now at least. So we are playing the Sicilian, which is, I don't know if it's the Alapin, because my opponent played c3 in move number 3 rather than playing c3 in move number 2, because then I would play d5. But after knight to f3 I played d6, he played d6, so now it wouldn't make c3, so now it wouldn't make sense to move the pawn again, right? Because it would be the same position, but with his knight on f3 having a tempo up. Alright, so bishop g7, I mean, my setup was my plan was to play something similar to the King's Indian. So I'm gonna give him the center, he can play here, he can even push up to d5, but I will counterattack on the queen side with the help of my bishop. So this bishop looking at c3, and this pawn looking at c3, and rook looking on the b file here. So he plays rook t1. Of course, I mean, he wants to break through e5, but he needs to look for the best time to do it. d4 first, opening this, the bishop and fighting for the center. So now I decide to play knight to d7 to stop his pawn break. d5, and obviously I calculated d5 after knight to d7, and yes, I saw that knight to a5 is the best. You have to watch out with those moves to the band, because sometimes if your knight gets trapped somehow, it might not, and the opponent plays b3 c4. Of course now they can't, but I'm talking sometimes and maybe in the future. b4, he plays b3 c4. It turns out your knight cannot jump anywhere, and it's kind of just eliminated from the game. So yeah, you just gotta be careful. Happily I saw that everything is gonna be okay, and actually this knight was good, super good here, because it had some options. This move was super suspicious. I mean, he moved to d3, then to c2, then to d3, right? It doesn't make sense. b3, b4. At this point he's in trouble, because if I play b4, I mean, my position opens up very, very quickly. b4, bishop b2, his pawn is pinned, and my pieces are playing very, very well. I haven't analyzed this game fully, but I see the chess glyphs, it's called, so I see that this move is orange, it's an inaccuracy. I thought it's the best move actually, but yeah, I just didn't have any other options. I mean, I cannot take, and if I just play slow, I mean, how can I even develop if I don't move this knight? Well, can I play queen to b6, but then queen to c2, let's say bishop a6, takes, and then he can take, and he's doing alright, in my opinion, right? Take here, and knight to d4, he's gonna have the e5 square. I mean, this is not something I was looking for. I was looking to get a very good position. So I just played knight to b6 to attack his bishop somehow, to look at for c4, to be able to move my bishop. Queen to e2, and here we play c4. I mean, you gotta act quickly, because I didn't see any other way to convert my advantage. I feel like I have the advantage here, and yeah, I just wanted to speed up the process. I wanted to stay active, and I sacrificed my pawn for the almost open b file, and the knight on a4 being super good here. The knights on the band look very amazing in my opinion. Queen to c2, so the piece moves a second time in the opening. Second piece moving the second time in the opening. And here I play bishop d7. The computer says it's a blunder. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything better. I mean, I can take, but the problem is that I cannot take with the pawn, because he takes my rook. And after here, c2, he can even take, I take, and we are equal. I mean, he's a pawn up even. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? So maybe takes, just keep the pin, and play bishop a6, but then pawn to e5. Bishop c4, and I guess that's what the computer wanted me to play. I mean, I'm just a pawn up here. For some reason I don't see those simple moves, and I play bishop d7. knight to e5. He needed to play it to block this diagonal, because otherwise, yeah, I would take. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Because otherwise, if he does anything else, I don't know. I mean, this move is super stupid, but even like something like this, attacking, forking here, I mean, it's just too much. The rook, the bishop, the pawn, the knight. Let's say rook to e2. Alright, but I take, bc. He goes queen to c2 to block the pawn, so I cannot open up my bishop, but then rook to b2 takes c2. I mean, it's looking very bad. I think e5 was the only saving move. So here I play queen to c7. There's one drawback of this move. The queen is unprotected, and if I want to take on c4 one day, and this pawn also gets, you know, eliminated, my piece might be pinned. But okay, I didn't see it, so I just played rook to b4. I'm a pawn down, but I'm more active. His knight is still in the opening, on the opening square, in move 19, which is weird. Alright, bishop to d4, pawn to e6, and here again I was thinking for a little bit of time because I just didn't know what I could do here. Like, guys, what can I do? I cannot take on c4. I was looking at those variations, like rook to c4 here, knight to c4, and queen to c4, which is what I saw when I took on b4 with the rook. And it looks great, right? Very great. But the problem is that if you take, he simply plays knight to d2, and this is completely lost. So I played e6 to threaten taking on d5 and then taking on d4 if he takes back. Knight takes d7, which I knew is a blunder. I mean, I just put so much pressure on my opponent that eventually he crumbled. He had little time at that point. And yeah, I took on d4. I mean, this bishop is looking amazing. I think he was just calculating knight f8 and bishop takes a1, and he's better. But guys, come on. I'm looking for his king, rook to b2. Maybe he didn't see rook b2 because it stops defending the knight. He plays knight to e6. Just at least trying to get the, you know, a pawn for the knight, because the knight couldn't really run away. I take, and now I was actually thinking that if he takes here, I'm forced to take on c2 and he goes e7. And how does this position look? I mean, what is going on? Take, I need to sacrifice, and here I was like panicking, but before I actually thought about this move, he played something else, so I stopped. But okay, king to h2, bishop a1. Alright, and I'm a piece up, but he's got rook takes a7. I mean, that's a super complicated position still. I guess I have knight. Oopsie. Okay, yeah, I will have knight to c3 here. And after he takes, I'm protecting the knight. But this position isn't won yet. I mean, 3 pawns for a piece. This is difficult for me to win, but I think I'm still winning. Anyway, my opponent took on a4, so went for the easy way. I took on f2. Now there is this crazy discovered attack being threatened. I mean, if you have something like this, you have to try to probably attack the threatened piece. So I guess rook to e4, but then it doesn't work because I take on a2. We have a check. Takes. Wait. I remember there was something better done. Alright, after rook to e4, I just go queen to g3, and it's checkmate very, very soon. And again, he cannot really do anything if he gives me a check. I defend from the check with a check, which is super funny. And after he takes, queen to f2. First of all, remember guys, don't rush, don't take the queen yet. Because after you play here, you are attacking the rook, he needs to move away, and you are winning another one. Yeah, this game was a lot of calculation, not gonna lie. Last game, I did not calculate well, and that's why I lost. But this time, I think it went a little bit better. So here, my king is actually saved. There is no more checks. This pawn is helping me a lot. Just blocking the queen from defending. and at that point I knew I won, right? I think I had two winning options. So I had rook to g2, queen to f8, bishop g. Oh yeah, it wasn't that good. Bishop g7 takes, takes, and takes, and takes. But it's not like finishing the game already. I mean, it's GG for him. Not gonna lie, but it's not finishing. It's not giving a checkmate. I was looking for a checkmate, so I played bishop to e5, queen to h2. It's very difficult to defend from the checkmate here. So he needs to run away with the king. But now everything is just forced. Rook takes g2, queen takes e1, queen to g3. For some reason I was first calculating queen to e1, king h1, queen to f3, king g1, queen g3, which ends up in the same position. But why would I waste time, right? If I can already play queen to g3. My opponent plays bishop to g2 after king h1, queen to h2, and here bishop d4. Now we are moving to e1, and the bishop went to d4 and then is moving back to e5 again. So it went g7, d4, e5, d4, e5. Very weird movement pattern, but it worked. And yeah, move 34, the opponent hasn't moved his knight. What is going on? I mean, he hadn't moved his knight, and what was going on? Because yeah, the game ended here. I like this game. I know that I shouldn't really be so proud of it because you know I have 1 out of 2, so nothing crazy. But anyway, it makes me happy. Let's focus on the next game. Yeah, a new video is gonna be out tomorrow, guys. Wish me luck and bye.